Why does happiness feel so fleeting? Why do we find ourselves trapped in patterns of negativity, no matter how hard we try to change? Why does inner peace seem so far out of reach, even when everything in life appears to be going well? These struggles, feeling lost, conflicted, or powerless, are more common than we realize. But what if the answers to these questions don't lie outside of us, but within the very depths of our being? In this chapter, we uncover the secret to understanding these struggles, the role of the subconscious mind, al-qalb, in shaping our reality. We explore the types of souls, from those dominated by negativity and desires to those that rise above materialism into spiritual contentment. We'll also discover how aligning our subconscious with faith and divine truth can liberate us from the cycles of suffering and guide us to lasting peace. So, if you've ever felt trapped by your thoughts, conflicted in your decisions, or longing for something greater than material success, stay with us. This chapter may hold the key to unlocking the answers you've been searching for. May the attributes of Allah and His salutation be upon our Prophet, Sayyiduna Muhammad, a solution to every lost and undecisive worshiper. Every soul is hostage to what it has reaped. You are who you firmly believe with conviction that you are. Believing is synonymous to life. To believe is to live, to exist. Believing is also the mental attitude of your inner life, moving toward a real manifestation of your personality. You are who you think that you are, all throughout your existence. Believe anything with conviction, and you will see that the effects of these beliefs will surface subsequently in your life like a magic trick. Whether you think about it or not, consciously or subconsciously. What you think of yourself will become your reality. Yourself. Your perpetual way of thinking has a tendency to gradually attach itself until it becomes ingrained in your subconscious. Your thought then becomes a law that governs and dominates you. If you succeed in keeping your thought balanced and harmonious, it will undeniably be the same in your life. You inevitably notice that everything you relentlessly think with conviction of yourself will come true. This has an essential importance and explains anything that you print in your subconscious, whether it is good or bad, by steering all of your conscious actions. Your subconscious is similar to a mirror that will reflect back all the attributes that you have created of yourself, and every one of your thoughts will pave the way of your future. Anyone who has clear perception, it is to his advantage, and anyone who blinds himself, it is to his detriment. So, what are you making of yourself? And in which category does your soul belong? Are you evolving? To answer these questions, here are some examples of some types of souls through which you could identify yourself with. The imperious soul. It allows itself to be seduced by the satisfactions of concupiscence, and it also yields easily to negative vibrations and satanic suggestions. It is characterized by greed, conceit, hostility, covetousness, rancor, narcissism, perversity, condescension, and insouciance. In summary, a total unconsciousness and insouciance. The rebuking soul. It sometimes follows concupiscence and sometimes opposes it. It is characterized by constant worries, blame, and feelings of guilt. It could be summed up in a constant back and forth movement. The soul that is inspired by rectitude. It finds peace in the divine order and succeeds in liberating itself of negative emotions when they occur every time it opposes concupiscence. It is characterized by detachment, contentment, humility, patience, and love toward Allah. This leads to an accomplishment of all its tasks. The acquiescent soul. It is a soul that breaks the shackles of the material world and gradually elevates itself in the spiritual echelon toward the pacified soul. Generosity, faith, and conviction in Allah, wisdom, and love toward Allah are its characteristics, which could be summed up in an absolute gratefulness toward Allah. The pacified soul. It abstains from everything that is not connected to Allah. Excellence of character, consideration toward all creatures, and transcendental meditation in the magnificence of the divine are its qualities. The soul is submerged in a total satisfaction of what Allah has granted it. The content soul. It is characterized by sobriety, sincerity, piety, which is translated in a fidelity toward Allah. The perfect soul. It contains all the noble qualities mentioned before. Through the soul and by whom it had been forged, and He then has inspired in it the power to acquire its immorality and its piety. Blessed is he who had purified it, and devastated is he who had soiled it. The soul in the Quran refers as well to the spirit, or more precisely to its subconscious facet, which goes from the imperious, oblivious soul to arrive at the perfect integrated one. So, whatever you really think and believe of your own soul as being true will be manifested in all stages of your life through the reflection of your subconscious mirror in the form of events. Remember, though, that your subconscious spirit rejects all desires, dreams, and hopes that are not supported by faith. It does accept your convictions and sincere desires channeled through the source of your own soul. The distractions that assault the spirit might be a simple, imaginative wandering. Even during your prayers, Allah takes in consideration only what has been printed in your hearts. Allah does not hold you responsible for your inconsiderate thoughts during your prayers, but He will measure you by what has been printed in your subconscious, and Allah is forgiving, forbearing. That is how you build a concrete image of yourself and of this world. Your nefesh is yourself. You have to distinguish between the soul, which signifies the individual himself and the manifested states of his reality, and the spirit, which is the invisible force that activates the soul. But do not forget, under any circumstance, that this subconscious mirror, one of the facets of the spirit, is also a divine screen where the revealed supreme law was written in your favor. It works for you and is striving to correct mistakes that you have inflicted on your persona through erroneous concepts. If the opinion that you ascribe to yourself is compatible to the divine script, it means that you are in harmony and peace with your ego. Otherwise, it is a total schizophrenia. Allah has cited in a parable a schizophrenic man and another one in peace with his ego. Are they equal examples? Praise to Allah, but most of them do not know. The importance of the subconscious is divinely well defined in this prophetic hadith. The heavens and the earth have failed to contain me, but the subconscious of a faithful, pious, and devout believer can. Through his absolute devotion and piety, Sayyiduna Umar ibn al-Khattab had been capable of reading the divine words innate in his subconscious heart. 4 times he uttered the meaning of certain Quranic verses even before their divine revelation. Therefore, this caliph proves that he was in harmony with the divine script within him. That is why it is recommended to believe only the truths of the divine law ingrained in your subconscious spirit, rather than the testimony of your senses. This is the true meaning and the essence of salvation. What you choose now to believe, imagine, or think will create the instant, the day, the week, and the next month of your entire future. This way, once you are sincerely in search of the truth through prayer and continuous dhikr, the current of universal existence will attract you through a reciprocal force. Because you are here to pray, in order to connect yourself to the infinite, read this Quranic verse: I have created jinns and human beings only to worship me. Real-life example. In 2001, a young Tunisian man who was studying in Europe called me from a hospital. He confided in me by telling me that he recently wrote a letter to a clairvoyant astrologer asking him to read into his future. In one of those televised shows, unfortunately broadcast by an Arabic-speaking channel, the astrologer answered him as follows: The signs of this month are not favorable toward you. You have a lot in risk. Try to stay home more often if it is possible. Let the storm pass. The medium spoke with a tone of regret, while contemplating with astonishment his crystal ball and uttering his incantations with a considerable interest. Our Tunisian friend was so influenced by these nefarious suggestions that he was overwhelmed with worries. He told me that within a span of a week, he had fallen off of his bed while sleeping, knocked his head against the bedside table, and thankfully ended up with only some scratches. The second time, it was worse. After a rainy day, while he was walking up to his apartment in a hurry, he slipped and fell down the stairs. He broke his leg. It was in the hospital room, with a plaster cast around his leg, that he phoned me, asking me if he should expect other misfortunes. I explained to him that these omens would not have had any effect on him if he did not accept and engrave them in his subconscious, and that all those misfortunes are only the fruits of his own beliefs. His blind belief in those superstitions materialized in his life and caused him misfortune, and he would undergo further misery if he persisted in believing those superstitions. Whatever the nature of the problem, his experiences are only external consequences of his thoughts. I have recommended to him to change his state of mind by repeating the words of Sayyiduna Muhammad, may the attributes of Allah and His salutations be upon him. Astrologers are lying even though what they have predicted came true amongst the believers. I suggested to him to meditate wisely on another saying of Sayyiduna Muhammad, may the attributes of Allah and His salutations be upon him. Those who believe in clairvoyance are not believers in what I have received from Allah. Therefore, demons move closer only toward people who are psychologically weak, which they come to use as mediums and clairvoyants. Those people are no longer counted among Allah's servants because they rendered themselves demons as well. They became servants of Satan, their guide in permanent activity, which soils their thinking and subjects their lives to evil suggestions. I have informed him as well that the son-in-law and cousin of Sayyiduna Muhammad, may the attributes of Allah and His salutations be upon him, Sayyiduna Ali ibn Abi Talib, illuminated as he, has said, push away waves of adversity through prayer. A sincere call of distress can only save you, since everything that befalls us is conformed to what we believe. And since all of that has nothing to do with stars, nor circumstances or conditions, or other planetary configurations. I have advised him to repeat as much as possible the following prayer, an excerpt from the Quran. Allah is certainly the best protector, and He is the most merciful of all merciful ones. And the following dhikr. Allah, the Clement, merciful, is protecting me. All His arsenal is surrounding and helping me. I am walking toward happiness by elevating myself toward Him. Our friend is now in Tunisia in good health, and he is aspiring to a wonderful future. The universal intelligence will always answer your sincere prayers, and change starts undoubtedly as soon as you desire that change profoundly. So, take the habit of praying, and you will feel elevated and inspired to accomplish great things in your life. This way, the divine light will be gushing within and beyond yourself to fill and illuminate you. As we conclude this chapter, we see that our struggles, whether they be internal conflict, negative thoughts, or fleeting happiness, are reflections of our inner state. To truly transform our lives, we must begin within, aligning our subconscious with faith and divine truth. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into the transformative power of faith and how it serves as the guiding light that shapes not only our minds, but our entire existence. Stay tuned as we continue this journey together.